Just over 7k in. Pace was about 5:15. Bloods have been around 5.
Welcome to the channel. Tomorrow I'm going to be running a half marathon. So I'm going to take you guys along with me to let you know my thought process on managing my blood sugar levels, fueling, how I'm going to adjust my insulin needs, right from later this evening, whenever, like a mini carb load, all through till tomorrow morning. So before the race, morning of the race, throughout the race, and then after the race. This is currently Saturday at 4:10 in the afternoon. So night before. I wanted to start the vlog, if you like, here, because this is kind of the pre-prep of how I start to a small carb load, manage my bloods, and then I'm going to take you guys all through tomorrow morning, get a little bit of footage throughout the race if possible, then after. Stick around till the end, it's going to be pretty interesting. Would also help if I fill my insulin pump up, so that's what I'm about to do. So, with this race, if you are wanting to watch it to see if I put myself in the bin, unfortunately, I'm not going to be putting myself in the bin. I'm not going to be racing it, as a sense. I'm going to be treating it like a long run workout, if you like. And the reason being for that is since the end of the triathlon season, a couple of months ago, I've kind of just enjoyed life. A few drinks at the weekends, late nights. Training's still been there, gained a couple of kilos as well. So I've decided I'm not going to race it and absolutely put myself in the bin. I'm going to treat it as a kind of negative split progressive run, if you like. But this is also going to be good because I'm going to be able to show how my blood sugar impacts at different sort of paces as well. I'm going to be doing just prime this, I'm going to be doing 2 10Ks starting next weekend, and I am going to race those depending on how the body feels. So that is the plan. So if you want to watch this to see me absolutely kill myself, I say this now, but I don't think it's going to happen. Might push the final 7K. We'll see how we get on. For my sort of, not really carb up meal, I suppose it is. It's a little bit of a carb up, not a big carb up meal that I'm going to have. Just cooked it up. We've got basically a bolognese. So a load of pasta, a little bit of mincemeat, and some pasta sauce. So this probably comes to maybe we're having around between 80 and 100 grams of carbs, I'm going to guesstimate. And there we have it. Put a little bit of cheddar cheese on, just for some bit more taste, bit more texture. Basically, what we're trying to do, for anyone who's interested, if we're trying to carb load, this isn't a proper carb load, I'll be eating carbs all day. So what I normally do when I do like my 70.3 half Ironmans is have a day before where I'm actually carb loading. This is just half marathon. I'm not going to smash it out of the park, but I am trying to make sure that I'm not going in flat. And basically what we're trying to do with a carb load is replenish all like the stores in the liver of glucose, just so we can come in the following day and we've got enough stored glucose as well. What we're trying to actually do here is not have a load of, especially in this meal, keep the protein low, keep the fats low. So you don't want a load of protein, really high protein, high fat meal when you're trying to load up on the carbs. You just want more carbs. But basically, this meal is something that is my go-to meal to do that. So my blood sugar levels are currently 5. With a diagonal arrow down, I've still got some active insulin on board. So I'm going to eat this. I'm going to bolus probably around 6-7 units for this and keep an eye on my blood sugar levels like throughout the next couple of hours now. So we'll see how we get on with this. Good morning. So it's race morning. It's 6:30. Just woke up. Bloods were at 7.3. I'll give myself 4 units. Don't know if this is going to focus, but you can see here. I've given myself 4 units of insulin because I'm going to have a bagel and jam. And I'm going to give myself, obviously, 4 units of insulin. There's about 40 grams of carbs in that. I'm also going to make myself a coffee. But I've done it because it's 6:30, insulin in my system. I'm going to be running at 9:30. So that gives me a good few hours for the insulin to work, do its job, and I'm not going to be running then with any insulin in my system. Also gives me time to correct anything, should anything go wrong with my levels between now and the run. So we're now going to have a bagel and jam, and make a coffee. We're also going to get some hydration in as well, so I'll just pop you guys down there. I like to use these precision hydration tabs, and we're going to stick one of these in about 500 ml or so of water. Let that dissolve and we're good to go. Now we're just going to whip up our bagel and jam. Oh, this camera angles alright, it's not too far tilted up. So we've got one bagel, which is about 40 grams of carbs. The jam that I put on, probably going to take it up by about 10. So we're looking at a total of around 50 grams of carbs, which should do us absolutely fine. It's just a little bit of a carb top up for the half marathon. And if you didn't notice as well, sorry the camera's not facing my face, thought I'd let you see me buttering or jamming skills. If you notice as well, I had a nice long pre-bolus. I probably bolus maybe about, well, looking 20-25 minutes ago now for these. So bolus as soon as I got up. It's something that I've got to do with pretty much most of my meals, is a pre-bolus, which is giving your insulin before you're going to eat. As I'm eating this like 3 hours out from the half, I've given myself probably like that, around the full amount I normally need of insulin, that is. If I was having it any time before then, I would have probably knocked a few units off. But then, for example, the times that I've done like a bike workout or even a small triathlon, and it's been like within an hour, 'cause it's been local, obviously the bike's upstairs, if it's been on the turbo and it's within an hour, sometimes I don't bolus at all for the bagel and jam. So my bolus amount will depend on how far out from the specific event or workout that I'm eating it. No. No. Quick one on what I'm going to be wearing for bottoms, Nike half tights. I think they're fast something, they're not the Aero Swift ones, but decent. Used to running in them. Then our TTT Run Club vest. Shout out to Total Try. Obviously, I'm coached by them with all this. Shoe, racing socks, and the Asics Metaspeed Edge Tokyo. Great trainer these. I've done good few half Ironmans, so they've got a half marathon at the end in these. Absolutely perfect trainers. Then, in terms of tech, Garmin, I'm not sure which model it is, but heart rate monitor chest strap. I've got the Garmin Phoenix 8 Pro, which I'll link my blood sugar through to, which you'll see later on. And then to put my pump in, I've got one of these SPI belts. Absolutely great. Shout out to those, because they've got a little, because I've got a tube pump. They've got a little hole at the back, which means it just straps on there and you can thread it through, clip yourself in, all good to go. So probably worth mentioning as well, I'm going to be using a flip belt, which is where I'm going to put my gels and my phone, because I have to keep my phone on me, because that's how my Dexcom links to my pump and yada yada, and to my watch as well. So flip belt, great. I think this was about 20-25 quid off Amazon. Now, one thing that I am going to take, I'm probably going to take about 4 of these with me. 30 gram carb gel, precision hydration, precision fuel. Everyone, you can get these off Amazon as well, or their website. Everyone's always asking me what I use, so I use these. So we're going to take about 4. Chances are I may use 1 or 2, we will see. I'm planning on using 1 for sure, but obviously if I start to trend low, then I'm going to use more than 1. key part of this is where the work actually starts as a type 1 diabetic now. Don't worry, I'm not driving, just sat in my car waiting to leave. And it's when I'm going to go into my pump and I'm going to set my temporary basal rate, because we are around 2 hours out from the race start. And what I'm going to set it to is I'm going to set it to 50%. So 50% off, 50% is going to give me. This, whenever we're doing things like this as type 1s, it's just an estimation. It's always going to be an estimation. There's no perfect decrease or increase or ratio. Like we're looking, basically all I'm looking for here is that I've not got too much basal insulin when I'm running that is going to keep dropping me low, hypo, mean that I have to stop the race. That's the goal. But obviously I've got enough in there that doesn't mean that I go on the flip side, that I go high. Like, that's all I'm trying to really get from this. But the only way that we're ever going to know if we've got it right, and it's the same with me, I've got loads of experience, been doing this for years, I still have to make corrections at some point. So when I'm into the race, then I'm going to know, I'm going to be able to see, right, I'm staying stable, or I'm dropping low, or I'm starting to spike. That's how we're ever going to know. So it's all just like, kind of like educated guesstimating, if you like. We're not trying to be perfect. I'm just trying to make sure that I don't have a really bad hypo that makes me stop the race, or I don't end up going that high that I'm getting cramps and again I can't finish the race. That's all. So we set that temp basal rate out now. We're going to drive to Heaton Park where the half marathon is. I do before every race. I've done it before every half Ironman, every triathlon. I think I only miss one is have a can of Monster, 0 sugar, obviously. I once had a woman on my social media going, you shouldn't be promoting, like, because I have one of these and I put a picture on, I shouldn't be promoting that crap, especially being a type 1 diabetic and all that. Like, give a shit. It's my little ritual. Don't know if it actually does anything different or brings me any luck, but you know. Bloods are currently sat at about 5 moles. I'm going to potentially have a gel, the 30 gram carb gel, before we set off. Just depends on what my bloods are going to do. The 50% reduction in basal definitely kicked in now. We're going to get down to the start line, get our race number on, warm up and get cracking.
7, just over 7k in. Pace was about 5:15. Bloods have been around 5. Had one gel at the start before. I'll probably have another one shortly. 14k in now. Had another gel before. Bloods have been 4.3. Keep an eye on them, but pick the pace up to the finish now. We're done. Don't know the time. I wasn't aiming for a race or a PB, so we'll see. Had 2 gels for 60 grams of carbs total throughout. Blood stayed between like 4 and 5. Find out properly that later on, but actually enjoyed that. Busy, good turnout as well.
And that's it, we're done. I'm trying to find a place to place you guys, but I can't. I'm just gonna have to keep hold of it. Looking on my Garmin here, apparently I set a half marathon PB of 1:47.18. Don't know if you can see that. My last was apparently 1:47.57, which was Heaton Park last year. So we'll see what the official time is. This is what Garmin's saying. We'll see what the official time is. Everything went to plan, excuse me, in terms of bloods. I'll try and pull that up now. I might put it on screen so you can see at the moment we are 4.6, and you can see there where the temporary basal was in orange. We started to trend down, but I didn't actually ever feel like I was going low. I had a gel at the start, a gel, I think it was 7k in or something like that, and then was absolutely fine for the rest of it. In terms of pacing, did what I wanted to do, you know, like a progressive, so 7k nice and steady-ish, 7k a bit faster, and then the final 7k I was blowing out my arse, even though I said I wasn't going to put myself in the bin. So all in all, decent turnout. I'm going to go home now and eat and walk Steve. How mad's this, right? So The reason that I like events like this is you always meet people and get chatting to people. And I got chatting to a local lad when I was like, it was 6-7k in, and he stayed with us for a bit. And I was speaking to him whilst I was recording a few videos, like for obviously this vlog, speaking that I was touting Diabetic, etc, etc. Then at the end of the race, an older bloke, well I say older, he was about 65, come up to me and went, did I hear you speaking to someone? Are you type 1 diabetic? I said, yeah. He went, oh, so am I. And we got chatting to him. And his missus, and he's done like ultra marathons, but this, he didn't do the half, he did the 10k. This was the first ever 10k that he's done, so I had a good chat with him, give him my number, he's got me on socials, so really good to kind of come to these events and meet people, especially other type 1 diabetics. So I also mentioned that usually I will have like a data screen on my Garmin watch that tells me my Dexcom reading, so my blood sugar. Unfortunately, this is probably my fault. I should have tested it before, but it wasn't linking through. So I just had to use my phone. And this is the thing with technology. Like sometimes it's going to fail on us and we just have to find workarounds. Obviously, there's not a workaround for that, just a case of looking at my phone. So that's why I didn't show you guys my watch, because there was no blood sugar data on there. So that's it, done. We're home, done and dusted, with a lovely little medal to add to my collection. So we're going to stick that with these up here. Everything did go to plan, to be fair. Bloods are, I've took the temp basal off and they're currently sat at 5.2. I'm going to eat, I'm going to have some sourdough and some eggs, so focus on just getting some protein in now to try and recover, and obviously some carbs, a little bit of fats in there. And then I'm just going to focus on resting up and eating for the rest of the day. But hopefully this gives you like a good insight into how I manage my bloods around like these sort of events. And basically I always go in with the same mindset, is I'm going to manipulate my basal insulin. I can do that because I'm on a pump. If I wasn't on a pump and I couldn't really change my basal insulin, I'd just have to utilize carbohydrates, making sure there's enough carbs and glucose in my blood to stop having a low. But obviously I'm on a pump, so I'm able to manipulate the basal insulin so I don't have a hypo. Now, I did a 50%. I could have maybe got away with 45 or a 40% just to give me that. So like a 60 or 65% reduction, because I was starting to trend low. But all in all, I didn't feel hypo. I was able to continue on, complete the race / workout as planned and push it in the final 7k. So really good result. Hopefully you guys got some value from this. If you did, consider hitting the thumbs up on this video and subscribing to the channel. My next race, I say race, I'm going to race this now, is Aintree 10k, and that is next weekend. So I may also take you guys along for that as well. But if you've watched right till the end, as I say, hope you got some value. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.